Rest, 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 rest. I feel like is very important. It's very key, especially in the beginning of your journey. You know, you're starting off, you're going through different phases.
He be scandalous. Wanna run the city, but the city won't run with us. Wanna run the city, but the city wouldn't run with us. Talking like he had it, but he couldn't even handle us. Bad nigga, he be scandalous.
You know, you're starting, you want to be a content creator. You started making content. You trying to do it daily. You posting, you seeing no results, but you working harder and harder and harder. But the thing is, what you realize over time, it's not about who works the hardest. Really about who works the smartest, who puts themselves in positions where they're not doing too much to jeopardize what they're currently doing. They're thinking more long-term with what they're doing than right immediately now.
I might not be the one, but I'm the one that showed up. I might not be your love, but I'm lifting up your shoulders. I might not be the one, but I'm the one that showed up.
Because a person just started, say it's content creator, just started content creating. I'm dealing with these problems too myself. You're posting daily, this and that. You thinking your videos are nice. You thinking your videos are hitting. Nothing's hitting. Nothing's connecting. The views aren't adding up. Nothing's matching. You've been consistent, but it's not apparent. You're told just to work. But they rarely emphasize the time to take a break. They want you to work yourself to death. But that often leads to you falling short and not ever getting to the progress that you would have achieved if you would properly put in that amount of work, but regulate it yourself. That's the thing, when you overwork, it starts to cut into the quality of your work. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you're putting in all this work because you wanna get better, you wanna do this. But at a certain point, you need time to rest, you need time to reflect, and you need time to think. Listen to what your body is telling you. That's all I'm saying. Listen to what your body is telling you. Be responsive to that. Because if you're not responsive to that, that's how you're going to end up 3 months down the line crashing, if you even make it 3 months down the line. Because if you keep ignoring the signs, they only going to get louder. They're only going to get more in your face. You know what I'm saying? So always acknowledge and take the time to take a break when you have the chance. Not knowing it's not a race. And that's also a thing you probably find yourself comparing yourself to other people who you shouldn't be, because you're you and they're them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's here on their own journey and their own path. You shouldn't be trying to compare what they got with what you got. But, you know, it's human nature. We can do it subconsciously, but...
Yeah, this a different type of... Don't know how to tell her how I really type of nigga calling up, he really gotta... come up in a session cause they... Damn, this a different type of... Don't know how to tell her how I really type of nigga calling up, he really gotta come up.
A lot of people want this instant gratification, but they don't realize that the more that you're stuck in that delay, the clearer your vision gets, you know, the clearer your goals start to look, the clearer you get more decisive with the things that you want, with the goals that you want. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about the destination, it's about the journey. You know, the more time that you have on the journey, the better you're gonna look once you get on the destination. But that's not appeasing at times, you know what I'm saying? And I go through those moments too, where I'm like, man, I wish this would pop off, I wish that would pop off, I wish that. But then you gotta understand, it's also a thing about being grateful for where you're at in life. That's what I really think it is. And not pushing yourself too hard, but always push yourself. But also know that there's a limit when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to crash and break down and not want to do it. You want to push yourself to where it's good, you know, good enough for you to, you know, keep going. You don't want to overdo this. Because I remember even when I started on this journey, I was doing 4 or 5 songs.
Ain't in the mood, over the moon. Ain't in the mood, over the moon, feeling it too. I be a wolf. Ain't in the mood, over the moon, feeling it too. I be a wolf. Ain't in the mood, over the moon, feeling it too. I be a wolf. Ain't in the mood.
That's the thing. You start to realize when you've been on a journey for a little bit longer, you start to focus more on what's getting you places. You start to focus more on what's more efficient. That's what I'm trying to get at. You start to focus more on efficiency. Maybe I don't need to record 4 or 5 songs a day. That makes no sense. If focused on those 2, 3 songs and I got a good quality song, with a lot of things, it's more about quality. You know what I'm saying? And shit, I realize it too. I'm like, maybe I don't need to post videos every day. I just need to focus on making better videos. Cause shit, a person could say it took me a month to get 50,000 views. A person could get 50,000 views in a day. It's good to put in the reps, but it's also good to understand that once you start to get a understanding of how it works, once you get used to putting in the reps and the daily repetition, you want to start focusing more on like, how can I make this better? Quantity is what makes you who you are. You know what I'm saying? Quantity is the hard work. The repetition is still important. It's still key. That's why you need both at the end of the day. Just staying on your purpose, staying on your grind, keep doing your thing. Until next time, guys, stay blessed.